Paris, the city of light, love, and scandal. For Meghan Markle, it was supposed to be a royal revenge tour, a solo comeback dripping in couture and confidence. It felt more like a pro lesson in sparking a cultural fire while acting like it's just for the camera. Every flashbulb felt like a dare. Every glance said, "Watch me burn your traditions in 6-inch heels." Because this wasn't a fashion week. This was a declaration. The Duchess has officially gone rogue. So, she chooses Balenciaga. Yes, that Balenciaga, the one that turned teddy bears into bondage props and left the internet screaming. The brand still radioactive from the 2022 scandal. And there's Meghan, front row, smiling like the drama doesn't exist. Meanwhile, she and Harry are about to accept an award for protecting children online. You couldn't make this up if you tried. It's like wearing a cigarette dress to a lung cancer fundraiser. Either she didn't get the memo, or she threw it straight into her designer handbag. The internet did what it does best: explode. Twitter detectives, PR gurus, armchair philosophers, all having a field day. Is this self-awareness or self-destruction? One post read. Because if outrage were a currency, Meghan would be the Federal Reserve. Maybe this isn't a mistake. Maybe it's strategy. Rule number 1 of modern fame. If they're mad, they're watching. And she just gave them a front row seat to her own controversy couture. Let's talk about that outfit. Oversized white shirt, wide leg pants, a cape so dramatic it could file for its own SAG card. Forget Duchess. She looked like a Bond villain who just bought Vogue. Royal protocol? Deleted. Her message was loud and clear. I dress for the front row, not the throne. To fashionistas, it was genius minimalism. To the palace crowd, it was a couture middle finger. Either way, mission accomplished. And then came the video. Meghan's feet up, car gliding through Paris at night, champagne glow, effortless chic. Except, she's cruising right past the Pont de l'Alma. Yes, the tunnel where Princess Diana died. Fans froze the frames, gasped, and then detonated online. Tone deaf. Calculated. Cruel. For Harry, that spot is a wound that never closes. For Meghan, it was a vibe check. Cue the global meltdown. Harry's world runs on grief and ghosts. Meghan's runs on algorithms and aesthetics. He's haunted. She's trending. One builds charities, the other builds a brand. And somewhere between trauma and TikTok, their world stopped syncing. Love or PR? Which one's driving the car now?
So was it tone deaf or tactical? Maybe both. Because Meghan knows the algorithm feeds on outrage, and she's serving it piping hot. Balenciaga, Paris, the tunnel, each a symbol, each a flex. If Diana's story was tragedy, Meghan's might just be remix. The question is, who's really the star of this sequel? The rebel Duchess, or the ghost she just outglammed? Paris was supposed to end with applause. Instead, it detonated a PR bomb that followed her straight across the Atlantic. By the time Meghan and Harry landed in New York for their humanitarian award, the internet had already declared her the new queen of tone deafness. Twitter detectives had mapped her Paris drive like a crime scene. Balenciaga memes were everywhere. And then, she steps onto the red carpet. The crowd cheers, flashbulbs explode. But the smiles? Plastic. Tense. You could feel the frost between them through the pixels. Here's where it gets deliciously awkward. They're accepting an award for protecting children online. Barely 72 hours after Meghan front-rowed at the most controversial fashion house of the decade. You could almost hear the collective eye roll from the press seats. As she delivered her speech, soft voice, camera-ready tears, the audience clapped politely while social media screamed, "Girl, you were just at Balenciaga." Irony had officially entered the chat.
But the real story wasn't her speech. It was the silence between them. Harry's smile was tight, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. She touched his arm. He flinched. She laughed. He looked away. When she leaned in for a kiss, he turned just enough that it landed half off target. Every frame screamed, "Something's off." Body language experts on TikTok went feral, calling it emotional frostbite and the Sussex freeze. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Once, they were the world's favorite rebels, royalty turned saviors. Now, the shine looks smudged. When your humanitarian award feels like a meme waiting to happen, the optics have officially tanked. Behind the designer gowns and scripted smiles, you can almost hear the question echo: is this partnership still a cause, or just a contract? Because the body might stand on stage together, but the eyes, they're miles apart. By morning, the tabloids had their feast. Humanitarians or hypocrites splashed across covers from London to LA, Balenciaga stock photos beside charity trophies, irony served with espresso. But Meghan knows this game. Every scandal is just a storyline. Every awkward glance, a subplot. The Sussex saga doesn't end, it rebrands. And maybe that's the real trick. When the fairy tale fractures, sell the shards as sequins.
By sunrise, the headlines were carnage. But Meghan? She didn't hide. She uploaded. A new post, soft lighting, latte foam heart, the caption, "Reset." Within hours, none reset, with Meghan trended like a confession in silk pajamas. While critics screamed hypocrisy, her followers flooded the comments with heart emojis and the gospel of self-care. It's the oldest trick in the influencer playbook. Turn the scandal into a wellness moment. When the internet throws stones, she builds a spa. Enter Team Sunshine, her crisis-control dream team, a Vogue stylist, a Hollywood publicist, and one very discreet meditation coach. Together, they crafted the new narrative. Meghan the mindful. Meghan the survivor. Meghan, the misunderstood visionary. Interviews were leaked. Podcasts appeared. Suddenly, every outlet was talking about forgiveness, growth, empathy. Translation? The scandal was now self-development content. She didn't just survive the backlash, she monetized it. Next came the alliances. A wellness collab here, a charity livestream there. She was photographed doing yoga with a Netflix star and sipping green juice with a Silicon Valley philanthropist. Every handshake, every pose, carefully curated to say, "I'm not canceled. I'm evolving." And just like that, the algorithm forgave her. The comments shifted from rage to, "You look radiant." Because online, redemption isn't earned, it's styled. While Meghan rebuilt the brand, Harry seemed lost in the edit. He appeared at events, smiled when prompted, but the spark was gone. In photos, she's center frame. He's a prop in neutral tones. Rumors swirled. Was he the side character now? Because every empire needs an origin story, but not every king survives the rebrand. In Meghan 2.0, he's background music, still playing, but fading under the remix.
Then came the comeback circuit. Late-night interviews, podcast teasers, glossy magazine spreads. Every question pre-screened, every answer rehearsed. I've learned, I've grown, I choose grace. Cut to applause, cut to sympathy. The narrative had flipped. The woman who once sparked outrage now sold redemption at retail prices. And the world still couldn't look away? Because whether she's saint or villain, Meghan Markle is never, ever boring. Now, the Duchess of Disruption has what every headline queen needs: control. She turned controversy into content, pity into power, and silence into clicks. The royal script said fade quietly into exile. She rewrote it. Watch me trend. Love her or loathe her, she's mastered the modern monarchy. Not of bloodlines, but of algorithms. And that crown? It's digital, darling. Every era chooses its mirror. And maybe Meghan Markle is ours. She reflects everything we love and hate about modern fame. The performance of authenticity, the worship of image, the illusion that a good caption equals a good conscience. We don't scroll her life because we care. We scroll because we crave the reflection. Her flaws entertain us because they feel like freedom. Her defiance scares us because it's the rebellion we secretly want.